So we're here at San Diego Comic-Con. You've got all the excitement, all the hype. What does it feel like to be back in that spotlight, but this time for The Man in the High Castle?
I was thinking about that today because the last time I was here was for I Want to Believe in 2008. It feels unreal. This whole place is very much unreal because it's all about dreams and people so close to reality with their dreams. You know, they're bumping up against each other. But no, it's very exciting. Yeah. Mostly just very exciting.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Now you penned the pilot script of The Man in the High Castle. As the series continues, what more can we expect from you? Did you write additional episodes? Did you direct it all? What can we expect there? I
did not direct it all. I wrote episode 2. Of course, I've been across all the other episodes, but I had fabulous writers, and I think you can expect the same level of ambition, if anything even greater ambition than the pilot episode going forward.
That's exciting to hear. And through this production, you've worked with Ridley Scott, who's widely celebrated, does a lot in film and TV. What was the collaboration process like working with him as opposed to some past experiences?
Well, Ridley Scott obviously is forever associated with Philip K. Dick because of Blade Runner, which is obviously a seminal film, and particularly his visual sense is so astonishing, and his insight into how you should portray this world visually has been invaluable, and it's thrilling. You talk to him and you just feel like you're talking to one of the greats of cinema and benefiting from his aesthetic ideas. And he pulled in all kinds of really interesting references from his own films, from other films, from art, and you see all that reflected in the show. And like I say, I think the ambition of the pilot has continued, and I think hopefully as the series goes on, you'll see even greater visual and storytelling ambition.
Yeah, it was really stunningly beautiful, that everything from the opening credits into the whole pilot episode.
Thanks.
So that'll be really exciting to see that continue. But teaming up with Amazon, whose fan base is just entirely online, how does that kind of impact the creative process? Do you have to make changes to accommodate or keep that in mind at all?
Well, it's been interesting teaming with Amazon because obviously it's a different distribution platform than anything I've ever worked with before. And you think about the storytelling in a different way because you realize most people are going to consume it when they want.
Yeah.
And that means an awful lot of the audience is probably going to watch all 10 episodes in a day or two. And so it's a different thing than when you're doing the X-Files, for instance, when you know it's going to be spaced out by weeks or months. But also, you're encouraged to be sophisticated and to be different and to take risks in a way that I'm not accustomed to. So it's, this is the best time ever. This is the best time ever to be doing what we're doing, and I hope it lasts. But for now, it's great.
And working with that online fan base, are there kind of plans to engage them in any type of novel way as opposed to the standard that you would working on a network?
You can do things in this space that you cannot do on broadcast television. And so, yeah, there are things we're doing that I think augment the viewing experience in a very unique way, that only because we're on Amazon we're able to do. So we haven't announced what those things are, but yeah, it's thinking about it not just to the television narrative, but more deeply. And this is the kind of show, because it is alternative history, where there's a lot of opportunities to do really interesting things. So it's been I've been very busy.
I'm sure. Now the pilot was widely well received. I think it broke records at Amazon for all the positive reviews it got. It got an excessive amount of positive reviews.
Not excessive. That's fine. Never too many.
Were you expecting that type of reception?
No.
What do you think makes it stand out so much that people were just they had to write about it? They had to tell Amazon, I need to see this show.
I wish I could answer that question. Everything I've ever done, I always love it and want it to be the best thing ever. And you can never predict what's going to click with an audience and what's not, and why. And when something does, like Man in the High Castle, you sort of go back and go, well, why was that? But it's a bit of a mystery. It's sort of like getting struck by lightning. You do everything as well as you possibly can, and then just hope you get lucky. And knock wood, we've been lucky so far.
Now with the casting of Men in the High Castle, it was really well done. Even some of the smaller characters, it was easy to feel connected to them and understand what they're going through. Was it a conscious decision to cast kind of mostly relative unknowns in those roles?
Yeah, I really felt like this is the kind of show, and the people at Scott Free and David Semmel, the pilot director, we all felt like you don't need famous faces. In fact, too many famous faces would take you out of the world, and we wanted, you know, kind of like the X-Files ethos was always make it believable, make it seem like it really could be happening, and that was my same philosophy toward Man in the High Castle. So there's a few famous faces in there, but mostly we wanted people that were just really terrific actors.
And moving on to kind of the books and how we go into those, some fans of the books thought that the pilot steered away from some of the surrealism and the questioning of morality that Philip K. Dick had intentionally put in there. As we go forward with the series, are we going to see some more of those themes brought into it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, the book is just chock full of ideas and very provocative and very rich, and really that's why it's such a great title. But we're doing a television series, and we have a huge canvas, and it would be a mistake to attack it all at once. We've got a lot of time. So we're getting there, and I think the joy of doing a television series like this is that you can fully explore all the terrain before you move on to the next conceptual territory. So I think over time you will see all the ideas in the novel explored in the series, but it will take a while.
And Philip K. Dick fans can be pretty outspoken, but being part of the X-Files fandom, I think you've kind of had experience with that. Did those experiences prepare you to kind of help manage expectations with fans of the books and bringing in now a new television audience?
Well, it's funny because I agreed to do this because I had read the book in college and I loved it, and it really stuck with me. And then I went back and read the book after I'd agreed to do it, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to adapt this? Because it's not a television series. The book, it just isn't. And then I read a version of the script that somebody else had done, because they'd been trying to make this as a TV series for 5 years before I came along. And it was so different from the book that it liberated me and made me feel less afraid, because I think in the beginning I was probably overly reverent, and I realized, really you're not doing Philip K. Dick or the book a favor. You've got to turn it into a TV narrative that people will watch, accepting this is a different medium, that it's not a novel, and then through that frame you can explore all the great ideas that are in the book. So I think it's inevitable there's always going to be people who are like, well, you changed this, you weren't faithful to that, but that's honoring the book. That's the only way to do it properly, and I feel pretty sanguine about that.
All right. Now, unfortunately, the timing of everything kind of kept you away from the returning to the X-Files revival. But you were always the one who told fans, don't give up. It's going to happen. It's going to happen years and years. They wrote to you. They begged you for information. And now here we are. It's happening. What are your feelings on the X-Files returning to TV?
I am thrilled. I'm delighted. I'm delighted most of all for the fans, particularly everybody at X-Files News who really carried the torch when other people were giving up, never gave up. And I'm delighted for Chris and for David and Jillian, and I never doubted it. I knew it would come back. It was too great a property. The characters are too great. David and Jillian are too great in these roles, and it's very satisfying. I have to say, it is bittersweet not being able to be part of it, but I think about season 1 when I wasn't part of the show, and it's like that again. And these are like the same guys, it's Chris and Glenn and Jim and Darren, and it's kind of fun to be on the outside and just wait and see what's going to be.
So you'll be watching that night with everyone
I
else
absolutely
then?
Will be.
All
Can't
right.
wait.
Now you're gearing up to promote The Man in the High Castle, but aside from that, kind of what's next for you? What's new on the horizon?
Oh my gosh, I have never worked harder in my life. I'm so busy right now. I relocated to Europe 5 years ago, and I have a production company, Big Light Productions Limited, in London, that is producing television. Really, I'm more of a producer right now, although I've never written more in my life, but my first ad is as a producer right now. So I have a lot of series, and you're going to see a lot coming from me and from Big Light in the next few years, which is really exciting. So stay tuned.
All right, well, we can't wait to see that.
Thanks.
Now, before we head out, do you have anything to say to the fans? Mic is yours if you want it.
I would like to say thank you for not giving up all these years, and you know, the X-Files is a part of my life I will always treasure, but I have come to treasure my relationship with the fans as much as my relationship with the show. And you're a very special group of people, and I think all of us feel honored to be associated with you. So thank you.
Thank you for sitting down to talk with us, and I can't wait to see more of The Man in the High Castle.
Thanks.